Right, so I'm out for another day of riding with Tim. We've got the Vitpilen 701 here, which is super exciting. I haven't ridden this bike at all in the past, so I've been dying to get a ride on one, so very kind of Husqvarna to lend it to me for a couple of weeks. We've got the F900R as well, so two sporty naked bikes. We're going to be swapping over and getting to know the bikes a bit better today, but we've stopped off in Hackney Wick, beautiful Hackney, to get some B-roll, some photos for Instagram, and to tell you a little bit about the bikes before we get on the road. So this bike is a punchy little single cylinder, liquid cooled. It's derived from the KTM 690 Duke, and it's got about 75 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a massive amount, but it delivers it in such a torquey way. And it's a very light bike as well. I think it's 147. Do you remember how, let's have a look. So it's 157 kilograms. That might be the dry weight if it's Husqvarna. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. But either way, you know, it's a light bike. Single Brembo brake at the front, fully adjustable WP suspension. And honestly, everything else is pretty simple. There's not a lot of tech. It does have traction control, ABS, both of those are switchable. But really, there's no like TFT dash. It wouldn't really go along with the vibe of the bike. It's just a simple, good looking bike that immerses you when you ride it. I've got to touch on the looks as well, because really this just takes that 690 Duke package and then makes it look absolutely stunning to me. The amount of work that's gone into making this thing look beautiful is totally worth it. Every single bit of it I love. This paint job is new for 2020, and this front mudguard with a little Husqvarna logo there looks brilliant. The trellis frame is a really nice look on this bike. The tank's got a very modern shape with that 701 down the side. Love that. And then the tail section is the pièce de résistance on this bike. It looks absolutely amazing from the back. That Tron style LED light. Single seat setup, so it's nice and short, keeps things stubby, makes it look aggressive. And the whole thing along the side here just flows so nicely. They've added spoke wheels as well for this year, which I think just adds a touch of class to it and a little bit more of that retro aesthetic. And honestly, there's not really a thing on this whole bike that I don't like the look of, apart from maybe the clocks. I might have preferred something a bit smaller, but I mean, that's minor really. For me, it's one of the best looking bikes you can buy at the moment. I feel like I go on a lot about how bikes look, and it's not really that important to some people. So we should go for a ride and tell you what it's like, because it's cracking on the road as well. Bike is just so much fun. It's pure fun on two wheels. The thing is, you don't even need to be going that fast on this bike to enjoy it, and it doesn't egg you on to go like ridiculously quick. 75 horsepower is a really nice amount for roads like this out in Essex, and the way it delivers it with that torque, it's got a peak of 72 Newton meters, so nice and torquey, relatively low revving, and it's just proper fun. The brakes are good, the suspension's good. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! It's like I was riding that 208 horsepower MV Agusta Brutale 1000 RR on similar roads to this last week. Well, not far from there actually. And the whole time you're just you feel like the bike's barely ticking over, and also when you do give it some proper gas, you're kind of scared for your life, whereas this is, I don't know. It's the most I've enjoyed riding a bike in ages, this actually. Oh, here he is. Honestly, mate, you ride that up and down there, and if you don't come back with a massive grin on your face, then you've got to be dead inside. That is so much fun. I mean, I've had a great day riding around Essex on the 701. I don't know how you feel about it, Tim. I'm pretty keen, aren't I, on this bike?
Yeah, you are actually really keen, actually.
I much preferred riding it on these twisty roads to the F900R, the BMW we've been riding today as well. It's a great bike, but this just feels more sporty in the position and a bit more raw. It's just a simple bike.
Yeah, no, it does feel, it's weird because it is high spec components it's got on there.
Yeah.
But it's the engine, isn't it? The engine kind of still feels kind of raw and basic in a good way, which is nice.
Yeah, when I say it's a simple bike, that doesn't mean the components, like you say, aren't that well spec. Like, they're brilliant. So Brembo's at the front, the brakes are great. They've got a lot of feel to them, actually. You know, with a single disc, you might think, is it going to be underpowered? But
it's really light, though.
It's super light. And like, when you're on the brakes, you know exactly what's going on there. Suspension, handles great, corners great. Again, really nice light bike. I have no problems with it at all. I mean, it's vibey. You can argue that. It does have a balancer and all that, but it's still more vibey than a twin or a 4, of course. But on short blasts, that's what this bike's for, isn't it? Like a Sunday blast bike. It's not a motorway cruiser where you're going to feel that buzz in your hands. It's for ripping up and down roads like we have here, and I've just absolutely loved it for that. Hydraulic clutch as well, you know, that's another nice piece of kit.
I couldn't remember if it had that on. I was surprised to see that little reservoir sat there.
Any negatives in terms of the ride for you?
It's different. So you were properly enamoured with that and sat on the F900, and you weren't as keen on the F900, but then I've been riding that most of the day, and then I sat on this and it felt a little, it took a while for me to adjust to it, from what is not a soft bike but feels soft in comparison to this. I thought that was sharp, and then I sat on this and it was even more sharp.
What took me by surprise about this bike is just how tall the seat is, and of course the clip-ons aren't super low, but they're always going to be lower than like flat bars. So when you do jump off a more standard naked motorcycle, this is a cafe racer feel to it. It's a bit like a Thruxton.
Yeah.
You know, you are up and over, but that's what I like about it. Like I say, I'm not going to buy this to like poodle up and down the motorway. It's a proper good fun, big grin on your face, Sunday blast bike. Thing is with the position as well though, if you do find that kind of like bum high, legs tucked up a little bit, clip-on bar, tight position, not that comfortable, there is the Vitpilen. Have you ridden one?
No, but
just the Vitpilen.
I said to you this morning, didn't I? That's the one I think I would go for, because I really like that bike. There are just a few little things that to live with it, I would want to be slightly different.
You want the flat bars for
so
cruising around.
I think the Vitpilen is what I'd go for, and it still retains a lot of the same style as that.
I take your point, but at the same time, you gotta agree. Well, no, you don't have to agree.
Do I have to?
Yeah. The cafe racer position suits the character of that bike. It's just whether you could live with it.
As far as cafe racer bikes go, that's one of the easiest to live with for sure. It doesn't really even put that much pressure on your wrists or on your neck when you're sort of looking up, as opposed to, you know, sat comfortably in alignment. It's one of the most comfortable cafe racers for the angle and the position that I've been on. It's a very hard seat, but the actual position is quite nice.
I feel like it is the spirit of the cafe racer, like modernised.
To be uncomfortable.
No. It's the spirit of the cafe racer modernised, in that, you know, the idea of those bikes where you're taking something pretty bog standard and then like fitting it out to make it a bit more sporty and sort of getting the most out of your run-of-the-mill bike. I mean, they've taken a big fat single cylinder engine, not something that you would say was necessarily that sporty, and then put it into this package and it's just a load of fun. The thing that I loved about the engine, 75 horsepower, 157 kilograms, so it's a decent power to weight ratio, but it's not like begging you to absolutely you know,
No.
welly it, is it?
It's good actually. I think even compared to the other bike we were on today, it reins itself in, or it sort of reins you in quite nicely.
One thing you might consider if you're buying it is like, it is a basic bike. There's traction control, ABS, but the screen's pretty basic. And I think at that price point, you can probably find some bikes with more tech on them now. But really, I question, like, what are you buying it for? If it's for day-to-day riding where you might need a bit of help with the nav and all that kind of thing, then perhaps that would be a good thing to look for. But if you're just purely looking for Sunday fun and getting away from your phone and you know, you're not really that bothered about technological interventions, then this is a great bike. And lastly, has to be said, it's a beautiful thing to look at.
Yes,
not that you'd
yes,
buy a
it is.
bike for that, Tim. You're not.
Well, I'm not vain. You know that about me, Rob.
Yeah.
But yeah, sat behind that, because obviously I was riding behind you most of the day, was a proper treat. The tail section on that is beautiful to look at. So yeah, it was you know, it was nice seeing you, but it was even more nice seeing the bike.
I thought you were going to say it's a nice view despite.
That's what I said in my video. Don't watch that one. But no, it really was. It was such a nice thing to look at.
There's a lot to be said for riding a bike you like the look of. You know, it's not everything, but this definitely, when you pull the garage door up and you're going to be like, let's go, this looks brilliant. Yeah. As always, you know, if you're thinking about buying one, go and test ride one yourself and make your own mind up. But for me, it's a very fun little bike to ride, and I'd wholeheartedly, at very least, recommend taking one for a spin. Any questions, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think of this bike. And if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe.